Hello, Zoom land. We'll get started in just 1 minute. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and get started. Anybody else joins us in Zoom? We had a couple people had trouble with link. So welcome to team meeting. We're so glad y'all are here. All right. So what is one thing for gratitude today? Specifically, we want to have a focusing question. What's one thing you are grateful for learning this year? What's one thing you're grateful for learning this year?
I was saying that was my main goal for this year, 2021. And I will say I have the fruit home.
I love it. Consistency. I love it. Anyone else?
I have gratitude for just being able to have faith step out on becoming a business owner. And actually, no, I'm grateful for that. And making mistakes, stepping out and not liking this. A different color. I love it. And I thank God. I wish I had it 3 years ago, 2 years ago.
That's awesome. Anybody else?
I'm grateful for patience. And, plant a garden, you put seeds in there, you water it, and come back the next day, and there's no seeds, no plant, you don't just dig it up. Oh, I didn't grow. You just continue to water it and just believe that the season is gonna come and it's gonna sprout. Like, yesterday I Googled my name, real estate apostle, and all this stuff came up. I was like, all those seeds that I planted almost 2 years ago is there. So I'm here, I'm still doing it. I gave, this is about my third testimony now. I can see like it's growing, and it's time to start plucking the harvest. I'm about to harvest, y'all.
We're making business deals before team meeting never starts. Yeah. I love it. Anybody else? What's one thing you're grateful for learning this year?
Well, I'll say that I'm grateful that I learned that in my previous years when I was planting the seeds and they grew, that now my business mostly comes back from reseeding for those seeds. It comes from referrals or a buyer another time, or the person to whom I sold the house, it's their children or their grandchildren, and I'm going after that. I'm still poor. But if you will keep those seeds growing, your business will build itself. You can always get a kick and a jump start, but it won't be like. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because as we're sitting here talking, and then Jimmy Ann kind of follows the caboose in line of thinking here, that's legacy. You don't get legacy overnight. You get it with consistency and patience and faith and planting the seed. She has generations of people referring her business from the hard work she put forth.
And that's true. That
yeah. If you're joining us on Zoom, what's one thing you're grateful for learning this year? If you're not.
Well, I think for me, I've learned that it's my natural characteristics, my authentic self has reaped more benefits of, I guess I would say, things I tried in the past, things that I wanted to do. Just being authentic, I just reaped so much from that, especially in this business.
Being authentic. I love it. All right, so we're going to move on if no one else would like to share. And we have a special guest, Jennifer Owens from Keller Offers. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Katie. Good morning.
Good morning. Do you need to share the screen?
Yes, that'd be great.
Let me make sure we can do that.
Perfect.
I might need to stop share. That might be what needs to happen. All right, now try.
Awesome. That did give me ability. So you should be able to see my slides now.
Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us on for a few minutes this morning. We are always super excited to talk to Keller Williams agents about the tools we have available for them through Keller Offers. My name is Jennifer and I do marketing and communications here at Keller Offers. And today we are talking about a concierge program that is live in your market today. So this is a new tool in your tool belt. This gives you the ability to offer that additional selling option to your client. So we'll get started with a short presentation. We may have time for a couple of your initial questions, but I will be leaving you with an email address if you do have any questions following today's meeting. Before we get too far, we did just want to clarify for everyone in today's meeting that Keller Offers as a company, we do consist of multiple programs. We did originally start out with our cash offer iBuyer program about 2.5 years ago. And to be clear, we are not talking about that cash offer program yet. That is not yet available in your area at this time, but we will keep you updated. But today we are focusing on the concierge program that is live today. This concierge program consists of a ready to sell side for any sellers that wish to prepare their homes for the market, and a ready to stay side for any general homeowner that wants to do renovation with the intention to stay in that home rather than sell. This program, as I mentioned, is offered through Keller Offers, and your first step to get started will be taking our free training, which we'll dig into in just a moment. Talking a little bit more about the program itself, once again, this program gives you the ability to help your sellers prepare their homes for the market while avoiding any upfront cost or hassle. So this program is all about optimizing the home's value before putting it on the market. The goal is to improve that home's marketability, selling faster on the market, or selling for more money. As we all know, every home needs a little something done to get it ready to sell. So you could utilize this for home inspection items to get the home sold, or it could just be some much needed cosmetic updates or cosmetic upgrades. This slide right here is just showing you a list of potential work requests that can be accommodated in the Ready to Sell program. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. Many more items can be accommodated. That means through this program, we can stage that next property prior to putting it on the market. We can do items like flooring replacement and repair, carpet cleaning and replacement, deep cleaning. Think about that home that could have used the power wash on the driveway. We can also do general cosmetic renovations, such as updating colors, fixtures, and features of the home. Landscaping is a big one for first impression. And then the rest of the list here, like paint, roofing, kitchen, bathroom improvements, and more. As far as doing these renovation projects without your sellers being out of pocket those upfront costs, right now in your area, we have a creditworthiness option available as soon as today. So this option is based off of your client's creditworthiness. This is that client taking out a personal loan, so it is not attached to the property in any way. There are no liens associated with the creditworthiness option of our program. And that personal loan is 0% interest for 12 months. So that's huge for your marketing, for your listing presentations. It means no payments, no interest due in that 12-month period. During your required agent training, we do go into full detail about this creditworthiness option, and we'll also give you a sneak peek of the equity-based option coming to your market next year. We want to make sure that you are 100% comfortable and confident walking into that next appointment. So don't worry if you don't have a chance to write down all the details today. You will absolutely learn this information during your agent training. Before we change gears and show you just an agent success story, an example of a project, we did want to talk about our program vetted vendors as another reason why you and your clients would want to take advantage of the program. So all of our projects function through this network of already approved and vetted vendors. So that takes vetting off of your brokerage's plate, off of your plate, and off of your client's plate. They are licensed vendors, bonded and insured, and we have reviewed previous jobs to ensure that high level of quality for you and your clients. We also do have a GC or general contractor on every single project. not only to manage any subcontractors, but also out of protection for you as the real estate agent. We do know in certain areas, especially in our California markets, it can become problematic if the agent is ever seen as acting as a general contractor on a project. So this is just an extra layer of protection for you. I'm also excited to announce that we also allow Keller Williams agents to introduce their vendors for consideration. We know a lot of you may have great vendor relationships that you've been fostering for years. So this is a great way for you to bring in one of your favorite vendors to the program so you can utilize them side by side with the other value adds, such as that 0% interest for 12 months loan. Right now, we are only looking for licensed general contractors, stagers, and landscapers, so keep that in mind. You can go ahead and submit these through your market center leadership if you'd like to, or you can wait until you take that required training and we will accept those live from you as you take the training. So next, we just wanted to take you through an agent success story. So this is with one of our certified agents, Deborah Blue, and Deborah works in the Atlanta area. This is actually an older client of Deborah's. She actually helped this client purchase this home over 15 years ago. And as soon as Deborah got back in the home, she realized it had not been updated in the full 15 years. And there were also some repair items that needed to be addressed. So initial numbers, pre-renovation, the as-is value was about $415,000. Project cost was $49,000, and that's just because it was multiple areas of the home, both interior and exterior. Within this program, we can accommodate projects from $1,000 up to $75,000. So that provides a pretty big range for scope of work that can be accommodated. After renovation was complete, the home was under contract in just 2 days, $26,000 over asking. So the actual return on investment, meaning the profit into that seller's pocket, thanks to the program, was an additional $61,000. Taking a look at a couple of her areas of renovation, this is the kitchen transformation. So through the program, specifically here in the kitchen, we color matched appliances, we replaced backsplash and countertops, and we also saved the client some money by painting over those cabinets rather than trying to do a full removal and replacement. Through the back door and window, you saw a little bit of a back deck. And prior to tear down, that old deck had a big hole right outside the back door. So it was dangerous and unusable to that next homeowner. We tore down that rotted deck and rebuilt the new one, which is what you are seeing here. Once you do take that required agent training with us, we do give you access to our agent marketing materials as well. We want to help you get the word out to your clients that you have this new unique selling solution. And this is a great campaign to round out December here in 2021 and to start 2022 with a bang. So here we are providing you with social media graphics, mailer postcards, flyers, and more. And all of those materials can be customized with your contact information, headshots, and logo. So as far as getting started, what is the required step before you can start marketing and utilizing this program? We only have one step required, and that is taking our free training. The training does take about 2 hours, but in that training, we're giving you a lot of key information like process, talk a little bit more about eligible projects, deferred maintenance versus return on investment, and more. You can take this class on demand in segments, which means you can do segment 1 today, a couple of segments tomorrow, or all in one sitting in an evening, weekend, or holiday without extra time off with the holidays coming up. To access this training, you will go to app.kelleroffers.com. And to find the on-demand option, you will just go to the top right-hand corner of that screen and you'll select Ready to Sell from that drop-down. As you are signing up with a Keller Offers account, I did just want to set expectations for a couple of items we will need from you. So we will need your KW email. That is your email that ends in kw.com. Keller Offers, we exist exclusively for Keller Williams agents. So we are just using this as a measure of authentication. The second component I wanted to mention is we are asking for your market center ID. That is just looking for your market center number. Here's that link one last time to get started. It is just app.kelleroffers.com. Once again, there's no class fee to get started. You can get started and finished with on-demand training as soon as today. And if you do have any questions whatsoever, please do email us anytime by emailing questions@kelleroffers.com. But I did want to see if there were any initial questions that I could help to answer in the room today.
Any questions?
And I
Yes.
don't know if this will be a lender question, but my question is, if it's credit worthiness and these sellers are looking to buy or purchase another home, would they not affect them being able to get a loan to purchase a new home?
Yeah,
Did
great
you-
question. Yes, I did. And that's actually something that you will learn during that required agent training. We do recommend if that seller is purchasing the next property, that they do get pre-approved for that purchase in advance before taking them through the ready to sell process, and to remain in communication with that lender so they understand what the loan is on the books. Because this loan is repaid right after closing, we have not seen it affect that next purchase.
Got it. Oh. Okay. Thank you.
No problem, great question.
And because it's not tied to the home, it shouldn't affect the next purchase as a lien. That has to be cleared up. Right, Monica? Anything else? All right, Jennifer, and we are going to get you the information to the agents. And so Jennifer is going to actually be in communication with everybody, sending out more info and how to register for these certification. And then she's also going to join our Facebook group. So if you have questions, feel free to ask her.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning. Please let us know how we can help you get started with this new program. It's yet another tool in your tool belt. But I hope all of you have a great holiday season, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let me get back to sharing. So that's a pretty cool tool to have. And, you know, even if you don't have people utilizing it, one to say, hey, let me tell you about this new program, that gives them the perspective that you're the what? Professional, you're the expert. You're always coming up with new tools and tricks and strategies to help them get top dollar. So really just investigate this and then use the tools we have, because I have so many people going, I don't even know what to say to people. Man, if somebody called me, you, Jimmy, I said, Jimmy, I know you were like thinking about selling your home and you may have had some renovations we talked about you wanted to get done. I have this new option for you. Even if she didn't take it, wouldn't you be excited that I was like, I thought of you and remembered that you said you had some renovations to do? That makes me look like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking of all my people, right?
Well, something else, Katie, perhaps the person has the money.
Right.
Maybe it's in a savings account or in some sort of investment. And that would allow them not to have to take that from an interest-bearing earnings investment, because this is interest-free.
That's right.
So that's another tool. Say, I know you can afford this, but let me show you another way so you don't have to, your investments.
Any questions online? Okay, I put the links for the sites inside the chat too. But she will be reaching out, so just expect something from them. And then we have our MCA minute. Come on, Tony. Hey, Tony. Come co-host with me.
Okay, so I only have two announcements before we get to like the multi-year trend and the numbers, but the biggest thing is command documents. So in command, there have been a few people that will turn in closings, but the commission request isn't there, the documents aren't there. I can't even do it. So if
That's nobody in this room.
Yeah.
That's nobody in this office. But
but
it's happened before.
to get
It has happened.
to give you an idea, it's like if the commission request isn't there, I can't even there is no reason for you to bring that check. Like I literally can't even process it if you don't put the commission request into command. And then if your documents aren't in command and you go past your closing date, you have to email the compliance coordinator, say like, hey, I submitted all my documents. Would you mind going back? Because with the compliance coordinator, it's tedious to, you want them to look back in October. when it was supposed to, you know what I mean? So you just want them to make everybody's life easier. If you upload your documents, if you submit your commission request before you even bring us the check or anything, everything from that point goes smoothly for everybody. And then with the agent bills, so I set it up for everybody to get an email about agent bills. If you didn't get an email, then you probably want to email me just to let me know. That way I can get everything set up for you. Unfortunately, my crystal ball broke this month, so I can't read your mind. I can't read y'all's minds. Please email me if you don't get your agent bill. Because like, I wouldn't want anybody to get a late fee for something so trivial.
Yes.
Um,
You'd have to check your email in order to get the email.
yeah, no, literally.
Not anybody in this room, but it's happened.
And then the last thing is going to be leaving the closings under either my door or Katie's door, preferably mine. But you definitely don't want to leave the closings just on the front desk. I would see it's like your money, essentially. Now, I don't know who in the world's leaving a few $1,000s just laying around, but it's not me. So definitely put the closings under a door. That way it's not like at the front desk and then somebody just go, oop. Like I highly doubt anybody would even do that, but it's just.
Let's just be safe.
Yeah, let's just be safe about that.
Yeah. And we have, as a leadership team, started using signs on our door, kind of in the essence of working on our one thing. So there are many calls, and Tony's on a lot of trainings and different things that we really cannot be interrupted and disturbed. We're going to be very conscious to pull that down when we're not actually on a call or cannot be disturbed. And so there will be times to put that closing on the front desk, but it's only going to be when someone is there to monitor it. And so that way that it can be collected. And then once Tony's finished with his call, it will be put in the bin where it's supposed to be. But if it's after hours, always slide it under the door. We just don't know between cleaners coming in and contractors. We're in January getting all the front done. We just want to be very safe about it. Okay. Because we'd hate to have to call you or you call us and say, hey, my check never got processed. Well, we never received it and somebody just walked away with it. So let's just be very conscious of that.
Alrighty, and I think that was it until the train show.
So we're going to look at numbers, and Tony is going to start reviewing these with us every month. Multi-year trends have come out, and so basically we've taken from transmittal everything that we've done, and it accumulates year over year, month over month, and that's where these percentages come from. And so Tony's going to review them with us, and I've actually put in here what we did last year, so you can see comparatively where we are.
Yes, so if you look at the closed units, closed volume, listing stake, literally everything on this list we've increased. One of the important things is there are very few numbers on this list that is less than 100%, which means we more than doubled it. So essentially with the closed units, we increased with that closed volume. That's increased tremendously just with the prices of homes going up and everything like that. So I would just keep in mind that you have all your stuff in order, that you're on top of your business, because that's essentially what it is. Because the numbers are going up, so that means everybody can get a piece of something.
That's right.
And then we can go on to the next one.
Well, we actually go through these.
Oh.
So closed units, 773 year to date. Last year was record breaking at 471. Yeah. Closed volume, 164 million. Last year total record breaking 72 million. Listings taken year to date, 291. Last year total 239. Keep in mind, we have another month that's not accounted for, right? Listing taken volume, 61 million. Last year, 37 million, record breaking. Listing sold 256, last year total 143. That was not record breaking, but any of the ones I'll say that were not record breaking, they were in the top 2. So like, it just was, we had like an odd year, 2018 or something that bumped us up. Listing sold volume, 56 million. Last year total, 21 million. Contracts written. Why do we look at contracts written? Anybody?
Contracts written doesn't mean they close.
That's right. It doesn't mean they close, but it's a lead measure. So contracts written month should indicate the next month or at least the next month, right? So that's a lead measure. If you're not writing contracts, you're not closing deals, right? And that's not to say we want a gazillion contracts written unnecessarily, but to study the market and to know what we're doing. And this is a competitive market that we're in. So there's a lot of contracts being written. Last year total 530. That was record breaking. Contracts written volume 182 million. Last year total 81 million. That's $101 million more this year than last year.
That's all.
Closed GCI. This is just, what's GCI? Somebody. Thank you. So what does that mean?
We made.
That's money
Yes.
earned. That's gross money earned from you guys. Those are commission checks. 4.3 million year to date. And last year was a record breaking year at 2 million. We have literally doubled already, not accounting for this month. It does that to me every time.
They won't let you go.
Mm-mm. So this is the region, and this is the one we don't go
Yes.
through every one,
Yes.
but we do look at in comparison. So we're in the Southeast region. It's the largest region in Keller Williams. It's Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. That's about 62 offices and 15,000 plus agents. We want to look and make sure that we are exceeding, or that we're at least trending where they're trending.
Mhm.
Because that means it's not just a local bubble that we're in. It means it's a consistent kind of, at least in our region, what's going on. You can see they're down a little bit. And as I explained to Tony, it may be a +5, but if it's
Yes.
under 10% growth, it's a negative. Because you
Mhm.
should look at your return, at least a 10% growth on everything you're doing. So it may have been, really truly month over month, 5.9% increase,
Mhm.
but because it didn't hit that benchmark of 10%, we're saying it's a negative. Does that make sense? And being the largest region in Keller Williams, you have to keep the pace way ahead of everybody else, or what? You're not going to be the number one, right? So, as you can see here, what are the biggest things that we see increases here? Volume,
Yeah,
right?
the volume.
Volume and
So-
actually listings taken. So there's no listings. Is that a myth or is that a fact? Mhm. There's been over 9,000 listings taken in our market from January to October. Are there listings being taken? Somebody's taking them. So are we controlling the narrative? Or are we just letting, anybody at a holiday party that has watched CNN decide what the market's doing?
And one thing I was gonna add, like while I was looking at this, even though your listings taken isn't trending above that 10%, your taken volume is almost already triple.
Mhm.
Yeah, triple what, actually that's quadruple.
Yeah,
That's 4 times as much.
is the region.
Yes.
And then what does that translate? Volume translates to,
Close GCI. And then it's the same
Right.
thing with the, I want to say the contracts written and then the contracts written volume. So that means even though it's not trending as much, y'all are taking less time because you're not looking 30 different ways for contracts that aren't closing. And then you're actually putting people under contract and getting closer to the closing table to increase the contract volume. So
45 days in, he's got it.
I got a lot of it. Some of it, I got some of it.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly right. Are you working harder or smarter?
Yes.
Right? Are you doing 10 under $100,000 deals? Are you doing 5 $200,000 deals? The work is the same for the different price points. Some of the higher price points, are you doing triple the work, putting in 6 offers because you're a buyer agent? Or are you accepting offers because you're the listing agent? Are you getting sign calls because you're the listing agent where you can have both sides? Or are you just the buyer's agent? Nothing wrong with the buyer's agent. It's just a perspective of when you're lead generating and you're having those conversations, when you're speaking to somebody and you're offering Keller offers or this option or whatever it is to your database, then those listings are going to actually translate to possibly double the work that you would be doing. Right? We all want to represent buyers. Without buyers, we don't have any closings. And if we're looking at 2022 goals, how many listings of the closings you want to have, how many of those are listings? Because that could literally narrow down your goal by double. Right? All right, we're going to move forward. And one number that we didn't talk about, This is us, our profit share. Year to date, $96,000. My very trust and intention, I guess you could say, to say bold words, is we're going to end the year with $100,000 profit share.
Profit share.
That is almost double what we did last year, and last year was record breaking. Last year we're at 53,000. The year before that we're 35,000. This year we're aiming at 100,000. So the volume also translates to this, right? We have more opportunities than ever to share value in Keller Williams and get people to come and have them grow a business and have you get passive income. So if you're not participating in profit share, I'd love to have a conversation with you, because people are calling. They just need to call and say,
Yes.
Rebecca told me to call you.
Yes.
Right? Any questions about any of these lore numbers? Lore is the language of real estate. You should know your numbers, and you should know our office numbers. You should know the market numbers. Any questions? All right, so now we have Miss Jimmy Ann Campbell. Good job, Tony. Let's give her a round of applause.
I was about to say, y'all, yesterday was Jimmy Ann's birthday.
Yes. Should we sing happy birthday to Jimmy Ann? Yeah. Birthday. That was good, wasn't it? Okay. I can turn this to you if you want to stand. Okay.
I don't know, we may not have enough for the birthday.
I think I had 10.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
You should.
I can print some more if we need to.
Archer?
This is a lot.
You might be in there. Yep. It's about
Super. All right. What we're doing at Keller Williams is we're changing the policy that we have on the way our company holds earnest money, the binder check. This new policy will go into effect on January the 1st, 2022. So I gave this to us so that we can do something. I feel like I'm in first grade, but I want to read this policy rather than just explain it. So let's read together. Beginning on January the 1st, 2022, KW Montgomery will no longer accept earnest money checks to be deposited into KW Montgomery's trust account. The trust account will be closed as soon as the last earnest money binder held there now is dispersed. So we're not going to be adding anything else to our trust account. We're going to be closing the monies that we have in there now, and then that trust account will be closed. Once there are some monies in there that are still in dispute, where a buyer and a seller did not agree who gets that money. And so that money will be interpled to the court, and then the judge will tell the company what to do with it. So as of the last day that we will accept any earnest money, there would be December the 31st. And you know, if you're that close to January the 1st, go ahead and just get them to write the check correctly. That would be the right way to do it. Okay, let's see. Please ask that all future earnest money checks for KW Montgomery listings be made payable to the closing attorney or to the title company. KW Montgomery will not endorse earnest money checks that are incorrectly written. So they'll have to be rewritten. So be sure that you get these written correctly. And if it's a money order and it's made out to KW Montgomery, that's a disaster. Because if we're not going to endorse them, they've got their money held hostage right there. We'll have to work through that in that situation, but let's just be very, very conscious not to cause that to have to happen. Okay, now let's look at the notice. With this change in the earnest money deposit, the earnest money will no longer be governed by the Alabama Real Estate Commission's Alabama license law for a failed closing. Earnest money funds deposited with a settlement agent or with a licensed attorney may be subject to the provisions of any earnest money deposit agreement required by the settlement agent, or such funds may be subject to the rules and regulations of the Alabama Bar Association. The Alabama Real Estate Commission gives companies the right to choose not to hold monies in an escrow account. And I will say that from being able to be on the Alabama Real Estate Commission as a commissioner, many of the cases that we hear deal with the escrow accounts in companies. They have to balance to the penny if you're audited. Our company does an audit at the end of every month and sends that to KW Montgomery, and they do a very, very good job of that. But some companies don't. But this just gives us a little more insurance as a growing company, as strong as you all are becoming, and you see the production that you all are generating. And we think it'll double again next year. This saves staff time, and it puts it in a situation where we as a company are not involved in a binder dispute. Any questions about what we've talked about so far? Make good sense? Okay. I talked to James Martin, who is a closing attorney, and he said right now, this year in his closings, he holds approximately 50% of the binder checks for all the closings that he has. I was very surprised at that number. I did not think it would be that large, but it is. So this is the new policy. Katie is going to email this to everyone. You have to sign it and get it back to us so that we can have it in our account, excuse me, in your file, so that you will know, excuse me, so that we will know that you know what to do. All right, let's, no, excuse me. Must have been my peanut butter sandwich I had for breakfast. Let's go back and see what this means to your buyers and to your sellers. The next page, goodness gracious. I'm okay, I promise. All right, let's talk about when we go for a listing and you're going to be the listing agent. You will need to explain to that seller that Keller Williams Realty will no longer be holding the binders. And if there is a dispute, that this company will not be involved in that resolution, that it will be the resolution from either the title company's policies or the Alabama Bar Association, not Alabama license law. So make sure they understand that. And I have in the second paragraph, page 3 of 4, this says that the owner authorizes the broker to accept and hold on the owner's behalf an earnest money deposit to be applied to the purchase price. Now flip over and look at page 3. You see where I highlighted? Did your copy to highlight? Yes. You're going to need to, as you're explaining the listing agreement to your client, you're going to need to explain to them that this no longer applies, but we are not going to hold that account, that money. So it would be fine for you to strike through number 9 and have them initial it. So we're going to have some adjustments to the legal documents that we're using furnished to us through the Montgomery Area Association of Realtors MLS. So it would be good to have number 9 stricken and initial that says, okay, we understand, even though this says that we're going to accept it. Let's take that out of the equation. All right, let's go back to page 2. And again, then explain to your client, I think I said this already, how any disputes will be solved. All right, flip over to page 4. This is a very similar document that I want you to give to your buyer to let them know that when they purchase a house and they're writing their binder check, that their binder check will be written to the closing entity, either the attorney or the title company, who is going to be closing their property. So on the contract, remember, buyers have the opportunity to choose their closing attorney at that time, and they submit that to the seller on the offer. So again, very carefully choose
who's going to be closing these loans, and make sure that you spell it out correctly. If it's someone that you've not used before, you might want to talk to that closing entity to see how they plan to hold, how they will disperse funds that are in contention. You might want to ask that, but make sure your buyer knows that Alabama license law will not govern that binder anymore. Right now, Alabama license law says if it's in our escrow account, it cannot be dispersed until we have in writing a written document between the buyer and the seller telling this company who gets the money in a dispute. We will not be in that position anymore. I have found, and I do believe, but I can't speak for everyone, that the closing attorneys in our market and the title companies are following the same procedure as Alabama license law. But I can't tell you that. So that's why, again, I want to encourage you to use a well-established closing entity. Someone who knows what they're doing. That's important. Any questions about this part? All right, and then if you will flip over to page 5, where I highlighted, now this has already been in writing in the Montgomery Area Association of Realtors contract. This is where it says the earnest money will be held by the listing broker. But you see in parentheses here, the MLS had already substituted into this document unless otherwise specified. So this gives us the right to move forward with making this change. Then look at number 6, page 6. Then that's number 14. This talks again, if there is a dispute, what happens to the binder? Again, this may be a little redundant. Remind them again that this does not apply to Keller Williams Realty. It will apply to the closing entity. Questions? Anybody got your question? Yes, ma'am.
I know I've seen it. Can't we, when we list something, can't we in the agent of March just go ahead and let the seller, the buyer agent know to go ahead and write the earnest money to the closing attorney?
Yes, you may. She said that what, and Carol, that's a very good thought. In your listing, in the agent remarks, not the public remarks, but in the agent remarks, put binder checks are to be written to the closing attorney or settlement title company. So tell them that up front. And then surely these agents are going to call you all as listing agents to say, hey, is this property still available? May I have your seller's property condition disclosure? Then you again need to remember to remind them. Because you know you're excited when you're making a sale and you're getting all the, and there's 100 million documents to complete in a sale, at least it feels like that. You get excited and it's easy for little things to fall on the floor. So don't let this fall on the floor. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
Well, I can't speak for other title companies or closing attorneys, but with regards to Southfield Title, we do follow Alabama license law with regards to in case of failed closings. If a closing fails for whatever reason, we do require a mutual release signed by both buyer and seller that states that we agree to release these funds back to whoever submitted them. And just from, if you don't mind, just from a practical standpoint, and I just picked this up yesterday. I don't know if this is what I want to use, but if Southfield is conducting a closing, I thought this probably is the best thing, but
I think it works.
I think it works, yeah. I bought this is really just a ballot box, but I plan to cover it and put instructions here, and also have just kind of an instructional sheet or a document that states, I'm submitting this earnest money payment check, preferably check or money order, no cash. No cash. I can't stories about that, no cash. I'm submitting this for what I have on there, which you'll put the closing address and you'll size the you're submitting this for closing, and you can just drop it in the box just in case I'm not here.
And we'll put this down, if that's okay, for the
Agent or Mary.
agent work.
Yeah.
That's okay, so, like I said, we do follow Alabama license law, and we'll have something in place in case you want to deposit on this money. Just for South closing.
And that's what we're saying. Please, if you're using a different closing attorney or a different title company, ask them what their policy is if there is a failed closing and they are holding that money, because it's not a written law like Alabama license law has that we as realtors have to follow, because they have their own guidelines, their own regulations in the Alabama Bar Association. But please ask them how they're going to disperse those funds. Okay, Katie, questions?
Any other questions?
What do y'all think about this?
Just allow me to know.
It's one more layer of protection for KW Montgomery. And we're planning on you guys, I mean, just getting out there and kicking it. So we need just a little more protection. This is called bubble wrap.
All right.
Thank you. Bubble wrap. We're wrapping y'all up.
That's right. All right, anybody online have any questions about this? Anybody have the question of why? Nobody's asked that yet. Why? Well, we wrote year to date 882 contracts. 300 of them were from our listings. So if you think about the contracts written number, right? They're not all going to be buyer contracts, but we are very buyer heavy, and we do have a lot of listings in there. How many contracts earnest money submitted that then has to be re-released? It's actually a lot. It's a ton of tracking and retracking and retracking and retracking. And so to be safe, we're just saying, you know what? We're letting those closing entities handle that. And that's the best use of our staffing and concentration and all of the things. There's so many more things that we could be focused on to help us build bigger business than tracking down earnest money. Or who is this? What is it for? You wouldn't believe the people that bring in blank money orders. And then we have somebody trying to direct them and play a game of charades to figure out where it goes. So.
And then I also add, and I'm sorry to be
Yeah,
very quickly. We have trouble also sometimes with agents not bringing the correct commission check amount back to the company in order to be paid. Sometimes we hold the buyer and it's the entire commission. We've got an extra money sitting in our account, and we have to go back to the attorney to get them to rework it, or the closing entity to get it reworked. So this is gonna make it easier for you all. At a closing, you look at that check the attorney gives you, or the closing title company gives you.
Open the envelope, open the envelope, look at the check.
Sure it has the company's name on it. And then look at the closing statement to make sure that money matches. And then, because what happens, what we had to do is you as the agent has to be involved in getting that discrepancy solved. And that just delays your being paid. So this is going to expedite your receiving your commission check faster.
Yes.
If you double check.
Yes. 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 It definitely does. A lot of times, closing attorneys make mistakes. They're cranking out just as many closings as we are. So they're running through the thing. And sometimes the earnest money is not put on the right brokerage. Sometimes it's not accounted for at all. Sometimes, I mean, there's all kinds of things that have happened. So
Another question.
open the closing check.
Ren asked a very good question.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is responsible for collecting that binder check and getting it to the closing entity? I would like to say, as your broker, it should be you, so that you have a copy of that binder check in your file, so that you can put it into command, so that you will know where that check actually went, and then you should deliver that to the closing attorney.
Yes.
That's just, that might be an extra step, but you need to touch that check. Because if the other agent is going to take it, or if you instruct the other agent to take it, How do you know? How do you know when it got there, who took it? How do you know? You're a little bit out of control if you're representing the seller.
Yes, yes.
So
And
stay in control.
Yeah.
This is still a transaction that you're responsible for. Just stay in control. Yes.
So if I got a buyer that's mailing, the earnest money order, which I have on Friday, so do I get them mail it to Keller?
To you,
Mail it to me?
with your name on it at this address.
Yeah.
Okay.
but moving forward into January, into the end of December, they need to get it.
It's gonna be.
It's not gonna be made out to us.
No,
Right.
it will be made out to the individual, but
Right.
it needs to be mailed
To you,
to this
yes.
office with your name on the envelope, so that staff will know who gets this check.
Yeah.
If the check comes in and there's no agent on it.
All the time.
and
All the
it's,
time.
Okay, which property is this? Which
Mhm.
property check is this? So you need to touch that check.
And as many co-op agents that will send you a picture of it, like Jimmy Ann said, that's not verified that it has been accepted by the closing entity. They may have held it in their hands, but that does not mean that it has been turned in, submitted, and put in a trust account somewhere.
Sitting there, wow, they meant to take it, they were going to take it this afternoon, and then they got a call.
Famous last words, right?
And then they went to show a house, and then they were,
Yeah,
and it's just sitting.
yep. It happens more than you would think. And the contract cannot be executed without the binder, right? So really, are you under contract if you have not touched the earnest money? If you don't know that it's been received? Nope. Okay. Any other questions? I mean, really. So for anybody that's on Zoom and for you guys here in the office, on Zoom, these documents will come as a follow-up email from today, and you will get a DocuSign PowerForm link that will allow you to sign that policy change. Okay. All the documents that you need that Jimmy Ann went over today regarding the addendum for the buyer and the seller is going to be in Matrix and in DocuSign. So you should be able to access them wherever you need them. And we're also going to put them in the Google Drive.
And don't forget, get these addendums signed, because this says it again, you're doing a professional job, letting the buyer and the seller know what's taking place. Okay, will that be a requirement in the mail?
For the addendum? Yes. Yeah. The addendum with every listing agreement, every buying moving forward January 1st, you will need this document. It'll be added to the checklist. Okay. So Bold is back. Bold is back. We're launching it January. We have about 5 weeks until Bold. We're going to have a special team meeting. I was only going to have one team meeting in December, but we've added another one in for next Tuesday. So come back next Tuesday. We're going to have special guests and prizes and all kinds of fun stuff to share more information about the Bold, to meet the Bold coach. For those of you interested in scholarship opportunities, several people emailed into the front desk. Continue doing that. And we're looking to get together a scholarship pool for those interested. There will be an application, and unless you have a friend pay for your ticket, it will only be a partial scholarship. We've done it in the past with opportunities trying to do a whole registration for people. It did not work well for us. So just stay tuned for more information about Bold. Okay, it's coming soon. And there we go. So we've got a group of 5 or 6 actually going down every time. Actually going down, but the online tickets are $129, I believe. You have an online platform where you can attend all of the breakouts, all the general sessions, and it's recorded for 60 days. So we had a lot of people from Mega Camp that would sign up and maybe couldn't devote the full 3 days to like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. with training. but then doled it out over the next 60 days to say, hey, this is a training I really want to attend. And for $129, it's a steal. And so please have this on your radar. If this is not something in your budget for this year, you need to make it on your radar for next year. Okay. This is where you hear those top of the line professional conversations, scripts, tactics. Gary has his market economists share what the trends are looking like, what we're expecting to do. Everybody's got an opinion on what the market's doing right now, right? Your mom, your brother, your pastor, your dog, everybody's got an opinion. So this is where we hear the facts of what we can anticipate in the next year and how we need to accommodate our conversations, our business plan, our strategy. So these are 2 events, twice a year, mega camp and family reunion, that you need to participate in some form if you are going to be continuing to build your business and continuing to double your business year over year. Tax deductible, yes, ma'am. KW Prep, this is something that has just come out. It is 17 self-paced modules for Keller Williams training. It is supposed to be the companion to Ignite. Shaquille and I are doing some research around what it looks like to be able to really share with you guys. Here's how you sign up. Here's how you participate. Here's what it looks like. It is available. I wouldn't even know how to tell you how to sign up at this point because we're investigating that. But this is something just to keep in your mind that will be coming out with soon, and it's online and it's free. So just stay tuned for that. And then I don't know why it showed this, the builder developer class. And I believe outside of designs, all of the holidays are in design. So you should be able to go in there and share out graphics or, those are nice little touches to come across. You can set campaigns and things inside of Command where it will automate that to your database, whether it's an email saying happy holidays or happy new year, whatever that looks like. The designs are in there for you guys to use. And the Command app. Who's been playing around with the Command app?
I haven't played, but I've been in.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's watch this real quick. So now it's out for Android and Apple users. It's gonna play it again. Okay. And the cool thing is all the notifications, but why would it not notify you? You don't have anything in Command. It's not gonna tell you, Monica, call your neighbor, or, here are the 5 people you need to talk to today if you don't have people in there. So there's a thing called PieSync. And it's if you go into your integrations and your KW profile, that you can connect, and it will connect all of your contacts in your phone and in your email into Command. Now, the problem with that is it syncs up Pizza Hut, Sinclair's, Dunkin' Donuts, your landscaper, although you would still use your landscaper, but all of the things that, like, any contact you have. The only thing is, don't call Pizza Hut, or call them and maybe you'll get somebody. I don't know. But I prefer to take my 1,000, 1,500 and use that and say, okay, well, that's Pizza Hut. Like, I just know that that's Pizza Hut and I don't have to worry about, calling them or bothering them. But it puts like a majority of them instead of one by one, putting them in. If you prefer the one by one, a lot of people like the one by one method or the 5 by 5 or 10 by 10 or whatever it is. To sit, but you need to chunk down how many contacts you have and say, okay, I'm going to put 5 people in Command today. While you're doing that, call those people. Say, hey, Carol, I just want to make sure, I'm sending out holiday cards. I've got your phone number, but I don't have an updated mailing address and I want to make sure I have your email. Why is it important?
So that there's more ways to touch them.
More ways to communicate with them. Shakira, by the way, what's your birthday? I got these really cute birthday cards I want to send out. Okay, then it's going to remind you, Shakira's birthday is this day, right? Right. So the more information we have on somebody, so the reason to not do the bulk whatever would be to, okay, I'm going to talk to 10 people today, wish them a happy holiday, make sure I got all their contact information and every single day. But again, you have to be consistent with that. And then you'll have all your people in command. Sarah does a great class on using the checklist, and that's where those tasks came up saying, here's to do today, was for those checklists. But there's a lot of ways to use it, and it can help you a lot. You just have to use it, right? It's not going to automatically wake you up today and say, here are the 5 people you should call about real estate today, if you don't have any contacts in there, right? So that's my spiel on command. And the TCPA, if you're using an auto dialer, please make sure that it has the do not call list screening. If someone's on the do not call list, do not call them. It is not funny. If you talk to somebody and they tell you to not call them, say yes, ma'am, yes, sir, and have a nice day. Remove them from your call list. Everybody got that? Cool. And that's all I have today. Any questions? Comments, ahas, thoughts?
Katie has a birthday this coming Sunday.
I do have a birthday Sunday. Yeah. Yes, I do. And I will accept all gifts. Yes, I will. All right, everybody have a great day. See you next Tuesday. Christmas party is tomorrow, 5 to 7. If you have not RSVP'd by today at noon, that's the cutoff. I have to give them a head count.
Just
When-
come on and have a good time.
Wind Lakes, 5 to 7. No denim. Wind Lakes does not allow denim. And you'll come in the tavern entrance. So if you're coming around, it's close to the pool and it's closest to the golf course. It's not the ballroom entrance where we would go for luncheons. It's the other entrance. All right, bye guys.